evening, everybody. Welcome to this today's edition of Chart Speak. Today, I'll be speaking with one session only, which is on the market and sectoral updates. I'll be skipping on stock-specific updates today because there are not much stocks which are looking convincing, as well as the way Nifty is behaving with the volatility. It would be risky to really think about entering any fresh case on a particular stock. So for today's update, if we look at the Nifty, the major move has been coming from banks. So bank has really performed with big strength today, 3+ percentages, followed by Nifty Metal. Uh, then we'll have the Nifty Financial Services and the components of private bank, PSU banks. You can also see over here, which have performed very well today. So more so, it is a banking and financial services day that we saw today. And overall, if we look now at the trend wise sectorally, these are the sectors which have come into an uptrend. So we have already looked at Nifty Auto. We have already looked at Nifty FMCG. If I look at the pure technical trend wise, we will observe that Nifty banking and financial services, these all have also come into a uptrend. But price action wise, I am yet not convinced with Nifty, which I'll show you on the chart. But today's move, I am very much convinced with Bank Nifty. This is a sector which we can look at from this point onwards. The major glitch here is that most of the stocks in Bank Nifty are today below SMA 200, which is a no buy zone. So still there is one case which is looking good. I'll also show some other cases also which are above 200 MA can be considered, but they still have a kind of a risk component in them that you might not get them a good, steady, fast momentum. So they will be slow to rise from here, but sectorally, the push, the trend movement can help them to go upwards. As far as the momentum goes, we still have Nifty Auto and FMCG, which is going good. The third place is occupied by Nifty Bank, private bank, then Bank Nifty. So it is something that I am looking at some point. Bank Nifty and private bank financial services, their momentum can also turn positive. So overall, at this point, the clear winners are Auto, FMCG, and on the edge, I can say is Bank Nifty, though its price action looked very convincing today. So let's look at the 200 SMA graph, how the trend is looking as an overall strength in the market. So here you can see the purple color is this list of or the component of stocks which are below 200 moving average. So you can observe it is still rising. So between the last 3 days, the stocks which are below 200 SMA, they are still rising. So this still points to a worry that in general, the market strength or the market breadth is weak to a larger extent. What we would love to see is a dip in these stocks which are below the 200 SMA, but this dip is not happening. It is still rising up. Now, if I look at the sectors which are showing strength compared to the Nifty itself, the strongest strength is coming from Nifty Auto, Nifty FMCG, followed by CNX Energy, then Bank Nifty. So this is where it is giving me a good amount of clue today that along with Auto FMCG, it's time also to look at the Nifty Bank. We might get certain good movers from the banking sector going forward from here. But remember, so far the momentum in case of Bank Nifty is yet to turn positive. So bit of an early alert, but thought I should bring it up to you. As far as the price action goes, the major level which I have been sharing on Twitter handle for last whole week is this 16,400. So you can observe here there are one, two, three, four, five price actions which have retraced from 16,400. So this is the critical level which the Nifty will have to cross to give me a kind of a convincing reason to start entering stocks with a higher quantum. So currently I'm not taking any new position. Whatever I'm having, I'm just tracking them. Whatever is coming to an exit, I'm exiting. Whatever is still above the stop losses, I'm continuing to hold them. A good part is that here you can observe slowly a VCP kind of a thing is setting up. If you really track these bottoms, you can observe that with every move, Nifty is retracing a bit earlier than the earlier dip. So let's see how it goes from here, but nothing to be touched till we cross 16,400. Today, the morning was very painful. It went down in a very strong and very bad manner. I think the small caps were beaten down 2+ percentages. So that is where you can see in the morning till 11:30 a.m. and then 12 noon onwards, everything reversed. You can see we started here today and till the noon time it went all down, and from there onwards it has reversed strongly. So this is where again the major level to bother us will be 16,400. We are still yet to cross it. The next level I can see here is this level from where the reversals had happened. So tomorrow 16,240 I'm going to watch, and finally the launch or the attempt to cross 16,400. Now let's look at the weekly chart. How are the sets of candles looking now? So I did share last time that we had a positive candle after 5 weeks of negative candles. So here it is still making a kind of a pin bar, and with a longer wick below, which is a sign that we look to move ahead upwards. But again, the last 3 weeks retracements have happened at 16,400. So tomorrow's day, let's see if it at least closes above the last week's close, it will be much better. So at least if we close above 16,300, I would say it is still a very nice positive case. Otherwise, at least we should not be going below 16,000. If we don't go below 16,000, I think I'd be still neutral. And if we really cross 16,300, we are a bit positive. And if we cross 16,400, I am pretty much convinced that we have made a short-term bottom. And from here, some positions can be taken. Now, since I have been talking about Bank Nifty showing strength, let's look at the chart of Bank Nifty. This is the daily chart. Now, why I think the Bank Nifty's today's move was crucial and in a way very much convincing that here banking sector is turning for an uptrend. If you observe this zone, this level 34,800 was the one from where the gap down happened. You can see there is a gap down here. So there was a gap down, and then this was the level where it faced resistance 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And today it has crossed it convincingly. So this is where I'm thinking that now Nifty Bank is coming into its own. It is something that we can look up to for picking further stocks. Let's move ahead. And as our approach is that if once we have figured out the sector, let's go to the stocks within it. So first I will pick up the Nifty banks. So in the Nifty bank, if you observe for the past 30 days, the only stock which is showing considerable strength is Kotak Bank. So if you give a cursory look towards all these trend lines, they are all kind of going downwards, except for, I can say, Bandhan Bank, which has shown a strength, but now is in a bit of correction. And here the trending upwards line in case of Kotak Bank. So these are the two cases which I see currently running positive. I did a deep dive into the major names here. So as I told you, Kotak Mahindra Bank is the one which is looking good. Why it is more looking good is if you see over here, it is making a pure play rounding better bottom kind of a setup. So it has, yeah, it is kind of curving it up now slowly. And here you can observe its trend line. So its trend line is running quite strong. And from there to the last 2 days, it has been able to stick its neck above this trend line also. So somewhere the trend in Kotak Mahindra Bank is looking good above 200 MA, this rounding bottom. So rounding bottom, what happens is that everywhere you will see there is a collection of candles. And as I've told you in my breakout studies video, the studying of breakouts with the Dahi Handi analogy, wherever there is a collection cluster of candles coming in the price action, those levels become a very good support levels from where breaking down becomes difficult. And that is the beauty of a rounding bottom. You get a steady continuous mix of candles at each level, so they really make a good foundation as the stock is rising. Let me pull it up to the weekly chart to get you a better idea how good this setup looks. So we can observe here, here you can really see this beauty of this rounding shape that is coming up. Mainly, this whole section is looking a pure play, nice rounding bottom. And from here, if it crosses 1950, we can say that, this is really looking a more intensive move upwards from here. So this is where I look at Kotak Mahindra Bank as the best case to go for in the bank Nifty sector. And again, not a specific advice. This is my studies. You can, or rather, you should research from your side and take up your own calls. Bandhan Bank is something that I had discussed around a week or two ago when we found this good move over here that it is attempting to come up and it retraced from those levels. But great part is that this zone near 200 MA has acted like a good support. So anything keeping a support at around 298, which is this SMA line 200, one can attempt in Bandhan Bank to get some better moves. If I really pull it up to the weekly chart, you will see some very exciting setup happening over here. So this is the setup of Bandhan Bank, and this is a perfect zone from where if the stock comes up above 360, it would have really made a good base. And from there, it can make very strong moves. So Bandhan Bank is another one which you can look up to. Definitely after crossing 340, it's a good case. And keeping the stop loss at 298, which is running as 200 SMA. Other banks, if I look at it, I looked at most of them, and unfortunately, most of them are hanging below the 200 SMA untouchable line. So if I go here 6 months daily on ICICI Bank, so this is below 200 SMA, so I'll have to wait here. I'll not touch it over here until it really best place is to pick it up after 770. But yeah, so this is where I'll wait. I do not want to act on it. HDFC Bank has really gone 3 weeks, though it is coming out of this bottom section. I would still not consider it to be considered it to be a good a short term or a mid term kind of a position because we are below 200 SMA. People who want to bottom fish, yeah, they can think about it. This structure looks pretty convincing. Same is what you would observe in case of housing development and finance, that is HDFC. Here also you can see a proper bottom has been made, and from here it is looking like coming up, but nothing to be touched for short term and mid term. Only long term investors can think about considering these for their bottom picking or investing. So overall, Bandhan Bank and Kotak Mahindra Bank are the ones which are looking good to me. I also looked at SBI. Let me show you SBI. It is hovering around 200 SMA. So I would let it really come out from here and then give me some convincing reason to go for it. So for now, only two cases which look quite good. One is the Bandhan Bank and another is the Kotak Mahindra Bank. So Kotak Mahindra Bank looks to be a clear case winner even if I go through these 30 days charts, you can see the only chart setup which is pointing upwards clearly is Kotak Bank, right? And that was around the Nifty, what happened today. So if you really would like to learn from me, how do I go for the stocks analysis and picking up their levels, finding their supports, resistances, and why this 200 SMA matters to me, definitely you should join my Technofunda Masterclass, which I'll be hosting in June 22nd. The dates over here would be from the second weekend onwards, 11, 12, 18, 19, 25, 26. So this is spread across 3 weekends so that we are in touch with each other during the working weeks across this period, as well as you become a part of the lifelong mentoring group for this particular batch. So do join this batch by 31st May to avail a 35% discount. So most welcome to associate with me at further engagement levels, because that will help me understand you, your needs, and your challenges, as well as you can also know more about my strategies and my approaches. So this particular training which I'll be hosting is a group training, and this will be mostly working with the trend following strategy, which I call it as the turtles. Now, what's up for tomorrow? So there are two things. Let's look at the Dow Jones, what it is saying. So Dow Jones, if we look, is up by around 0.65%. So this is looking decently good. I would say still not very gungo positive, but definitely a case that we can continue with today's mood tomorrow. As far as the FIDI buying and selling volume goes, this data is still not updated. Let me check. Yeah, still not updated. So nothing to comment over there. Major news which I saw today at a global level. One thing positive is that Turkey is thinking about negotiating with Russia and Ukraine to get over the deadlock of export of grains. Now, this is something which is bothering the supply chains globally or for the raw material, mainly for the eatables. So this is something which will help bring down the inflationary pressure across the globe. So this is on the positive front. India as such is going to initiate and thinking about doing a free trade agreement with the EU. So EU has also given a commitment that this thing can start pretty soon. So we already had a good agreement recently with Australia. There's one in pipeline with UK, and then this was another one with the EU. So looking good and a positive update. On the negative side, Moody's has slashed our 2022 GDP forecast by 30 BPS points to 8.8. Earlier it was 9.1%. So this can be an overhang, but I think with the news that has already been absorbed with the rate hikes and the inflationary pressure that we are seeing, maybe market would not react to it, because this is something that was very much known, the impact of the inflation and the rate hikes. This was going to be one part of it. Positive news on the EV front. Government has come up with the new vehicle insurance rates, and the best part is they have given a discount of about 15% and 7.5% on the premium for electric and hybrid electrical vehicles. So this is a positive for the EV segment. So definitely this is going to give a boost and another reason for people to move towards EV and skipping on the petrol and diesel vehicles. On the paper sector front, the Commerce Ministry has kind of initiated a process for the importers to register themselves beforehand with the detail of papers they are importing, and so that this data can be worked upon. And I think this is a direction that government might be taking to ensure that most of the paper needs are resolved within India and deter too much of imports happening on the paper sector. So these are the news updates. Overall, I am positive move tomorrow. Let's look from there how it goes. Crossing 16,400 is crucial, but not breaking down below 16,000 is something that will keep our hopes alive. Do get in touch with me on the Twitter handle for any questions, any ideas, any thoughts you have. Thank you for your time today. We'll stay in touch and no stock videos today. We'll catch up with you sometime around this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Have a great evening. Take care. Bye bye.